And that's how you take care of a Queen Anne burner type of lamp. Get a little bit more light going here. Now, we also have a different type of product here. These are your oil lanterns. They're very economical to be had. You can actually get some antique ones that work very fine. I have this one. I'm not going to work on this one because it's full of oil. But this one is an antique. It's about probably about 30 years old or so. They call it an antique. It's not really. It's just old. But I paid about 10 bucks for this one at an antique shop. This one I paid $6 for brand new at a local mass merchandiser. But they all work the same. They have a bail for hanging. And you'll notice that on the bail it has this here to keep it centered. Now, to take care of your lamp, you have different parts of it. You have your chimney here. This lifts up, and you can flip your globe backwards. And you just slip your globe out for cleaning. Again, clean it the same way that you did your oil lamp here with the Queen Anne burner that we went over. Make sure it's very clear. You don't want to have a lot of soot on there, because what that's going to do is make for less light coming out of your lantern. This is your cage, and this works pretty much the same as your Queen Anne burner as far as your burner goes. Most of these are twisted in. If you'll notice real close, you'll notice there are a couple of dogs right in here. Can't really see it very well, but this burner assembly here, your thimble, just basically twists in and locks in place there. Your burner assembly just pops right out. You get your wick in here. Works the same way as on the Queen Anne. With these, you don't want to be taking these apart unless you absolutely have to. These also have a usually some sort of a fiber type or rubber gasket on here, which keeps the oil from seeping up through their threads. But again, this works the same way. You want to make sure when you're trying these out or burning them that you have a nice square wick on your end. Again, this one, some of them actually have threads on there, the better quality ones, but they all are going to have that gasket on there. This sits right in there, nice and tight, and this goes over like so. And you twist that in to keep it in place. Now, one little tip here, if you use these on a regular basis, you're going to wind up with a lot of carbon buildup, especially right around in here. One way to clean them is to boil them out. Use a good strong soap on it, but make sure that everything is rinsed off clean, because water will cause these to rust. You put your globe back into there. Lift your thimble, put that back on there, and what you see is this whole lever here will actually raise. This will actually raise and lower to facilitate lighting. Now, today's lanterns usually have what I think is a pain in the butt. But it has, you can see where it has a warning on there. You actually have to push down into it to open it up. The older ones don't have that. When you're filling it with oil, you want to make sure that you use a funnel to make sure that you don't spill anything all over the place. That could cause quite a problem. But you use, again, your lamp oil. You can use kerosene. It's available in quart size at some mass merchandisers such as Walmart and whatnot. It's usually a lot more expensive to get it that way, though. Make sure that your rubber gasket stays right in there. That actually goes right against there to make sure that you have an airtight. Now, after you fill this, what you want to do is run your wick up and down a couple of times. Don't light it right off. You want to make sure that you have plenty of oil on your wick. So what I'm going to do here is, I don't know how well you can see that, but you see how it's got a nice straight end to that wick on this antique that I have. But we're going to fire this baby up. And you'll notice that you have the same type of daily going on. And this here is what I consider to be an almost perfect flame. It's nice cone shaped. It can get pretty bright by going up like that. Unfortunately, when you do that, you get a lot of soot. For normal everyday use, you want to keep it real low like that. It just gives you a little bit of light to see with, but if you're doing tasks or reading, you can turn it up. That will give you a lot. Now, at the top of your chimney, let's see if I can zero in on that, see if I can make some soot so that you can see exactly what's going on here. So you can see the soot coming right out of the top. That means your flame is way too high and it's dangerous and it's going to cause a lot of waste. So you want to make sure that you have it down so that you don't see that soot coming out the top. Okay. And to blow it out, what you're going to do is raise that up. Make sure you're down at one of your lower settings and simply blow up into it across your right across. You can see where there's like a little crevice there, kind of like a canyon through the middle of it. That's what you want to shoot for, blowing your air through when you blow it out. Now these also have a little bit more involved maintenance to it beyond cleaning the crown, your burner. They're made in different ways. There is actually a spring. Let's see if I can. You have holes up on the top. You can't really see them very well in here, but you want to make sure that those are always kept clear, and also your chimney stack at the top. You want to make sure that you always have a airflow through there to make sure that your flame is not impeded in any way. A flame that's bothered is a flame that is inefficient and works harder, and obviously costs you a lot more money to run. But that's basically it. You want to make sure you clean them at least once a year. Keep them free of soot. Make sure your globes and chimneys are always nice and clean. Always make sure that you use the proper fuel. You want to use something that says lamp oil on it. The paraffin oil is good for the candle style lamps. They don't work very well in here. You end up with a lot of gumming. And the flame isn't as hot, so you end up with a lot more soot. And a need to clean it more often. You can also use kerosene, which comes in a quart and gallon bottles and 5-gallon containers available through a lot of mass merchandisers and hardware stores and camping supply stores. It's always good to have on hand. I usually try to have at least a gallon available because you never know how long you're going to need it for. But I've had 4 quarts like this sitting on hand, or half-gallon sizes, or whatever size you're going to get. But I've used, in just a couple of years, I've only used that much oil out of one of these. And like I said, I've never been dark unless I wanted to be. Also, make sure that you wipe all of your globes, your burners, and your fonts on with a dry rag to make sure that there's no oil on it before you light it. And also remember that you have a problem with carbon monoxide with these. It consumes oxygen, which removes oxygen from the air, so you can end up with feeling a little bit ill. So make sure that you have a window cracked open so that you always have fresh air available when you're using these. And always remember to be safe. Don't leave them burning when you've got children around that are going to be unattended. Always make sure that there's an adult available at all times for the safest operation. And if you want to learn more about oil lamps and preparedness and survivalism, you can go to www.survivaltimestoday.com and learn more. And that's our show for today. See you next time.